I thought that I would talk a little bit about the liner notes. This is sort of like the preamble to the first stint of liner notes. I see these liner notes as like a serialized deep dive into a body of work. So we're going to start with Passenger, which I've just released today. This is our first voyage into the liner notes, and we are talking about the first song on Passenger, which is Rest. We'll be talking about the song's name, a moment of drama in the song, and a story behind the song. So let's get into it. I started really just cutting away. I was just doing like subtractive composition. All this material that I had throughout the song, I was just like, I only need that for 1 bar. I only need that for 3 bars, and just pulling and pulling and pulling, and then kind of reconstituting. What I ended up with were these moments of drama that were very unexpected, because once I started pulling things and having like the drum line respond directly to where my voice was, you know, your ear expects once there's a drum, there's going to be a drum. And so like having this one line of drum and it just disappears, and then this other line of something and it disappears. I think my favorite moment of drama in the song is right at the beginning there, when it starts to like be a song. It's no longer an intro, it's being a song, and you get this, you have these drums, and the drum drops out for a minute, and it's kind of like, it really pulls you in emotionally, and then there's this blossom sound. The name of the song Loom comes from the first word of the second verse, loom under a waxen sliver, hallucinating you, crane your neck to find. In my mind, it's sort of like a love triangle. The storyteller is watching as somebody else experiences the euphoria of being part of the universe. The storyteller at the same time is experiencing that by being a part of the story, they are not as much of an outsider as they otherwise would have imagined. This song for me embodies something I think about a lot, the passing of time in relation to a space in particular. Think of a time lapse of a train station or an airport. How does it feel when you watch something like that and you connect the human emotions, aspirations, hopes, and dreams to one physical space? I think that as important as naming a piece is unnaming a piece, or un-whatevering a piece, right? Like, if you give a piece of art a certain identity, if you're stuck with that identity, if you feel tied to that identity, does removing that tie or breaking that bond change the art in any substantial way? So the original name of this piece was Wilkes Barre, which is a line in the chorus. In the first chorus, it's in Wilkes Barre, dawn's delayed arrival, etc., etc., etc. So where Loom and Rest chronologically are very general depictions of emotion and feeling, this piece was written to be a concrete, an abstracted, concrete portrait of an emotion, of a moment in time. I think I was really feeling like conflicted in the sense of how it feels to grow upward, and how when it's done wrong, you leave your grounding, or when it's done correctly, like with a tree, the higher you grow up, the deeper you dig down. I was contending with this feeling of our species' purpose being to overrun the natural order of things, and that was that first directional movement, was this up down, growing upward, losing sight of yourself below. Not necessarily one being good or one being evil, but just two parts of the same. So as a counterpoint, I was starting to think about what might evoke the opposite, an earthly piece. I scrapped whatever foundation I had built for the recording and just started from scratch. And what came out of me was really, really different. A different sound, a different attitude, a different me. And I liked it. I knew that it would need to be the middle, the meat of the album.